Shout out Sniper T on the beat.
Tamara to the break of dawn is on the rise, with life on the forefront of the mind. So line for line, you can ride this brain train and you can change your station without even touching the dial. So relax, stay a little bit, but listen for a while. And whether you're bumping this in the whip or in a business fit, it's a meeting you won't want to miss. A meeting for a meal to feed the soul with words for the mind. So sit back, enjoy the ride. Time to take off, it's time to fly. Cause Tamara till the break of dawn is on the rise.
Hey, y'all. It's me, Tamara. Oh, you guys are too kind. And Chris.
Hey.
Yes, guys. So we are here. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you are new episodes drop every Thursday. Oftentimes I talk about my life and how I'm trying to grow, or I'll have different series such as this one. So definitely come back through. For all my continuous supporters, thank you so much for supporting. Thank you to everybody that has reached out. I don't want this to be the last time I'm thanking y'all for this, but just with the passing of my brother-in-law, it seems like as people listen, they reach out, or as people see whatever tweets or whatever related to episodes. So I really appreciate that. If you're not, you should be following me on social media. So the link to that is in the episode notes. You also should subscribe to my YouTube channel because it literally costs you $0 to support your girl in that way by subscribing to my YouTube channel. But it's super helpful to me as I'm trying to grow my channel, So thank you to everyone that has so far. I don't take any of the support for granted. When I say thank you, that's genuine, because y'all ain't got to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? So thank you for that. Podcast happy hour for March. I don't even know what that's gonna look like. I don't know. Yeah, we are figuring that out because we have our friends retreat that month, and we're not gonna. Yeah, I don't know. Speak on it because I don't know.
I think whatever happens, I don't know. I don't know because we might be live somewhere, we might be streaming somewhere, but then we might also record something. But if we record something, it'll be on Jay's platform, I think.
Girl,
I don't know, y'all.
We don't know, wait. But it's gonna be somewhere on somebody's platform on some day. And when we know,
in Blue Ridge in Georgia, that's what we know for sure.
Yeah. So when we know for sure, y'all will know for sure because we're gonna announce it on the socials. But I imagine it being very ignorant. We're all gonna be together. Not ignorant, it's gonna be.
It's gonna be so fun.
Yeah, that's probably a better word. Yeah. So guys, look out for that. I think that's it. So let's do our I saw a tweet segment. Now, Chris.
Yes.
I know that
you integrated this into the show.
Oh, of course. And I know for you I did kind of look. It's not one of your tweets. I did look to see if
I was scared.
But no, because you're very unapologetic about what you tweet. So, I know that. Nah, it started with Juice because Juice's reactions are so funny. Okay. And that's why this started with him. And then I was like, I need to do this with other guests too. So either, we got to talk about a tweet because Twitter be twittering. Yeah, there we go. Twitter be tweeting. Twitter be doing the most in any given. I see and I interact with some of the most random people that are in comment threads, and it's crazy.
It's literally my favorite place.
Because you really can. I feel like, and so many people, they say they struggle with Twitter, but for me, when I think about the social media following since becoming a podcaster, Twitter is the platform that just continues to
give.
Yes,
It's the
like
gift that keeps on giving.
it did it for real, and not so much anymore the people that follow and then unfollow. Although you still have that because there's always going to be them people, but for the most part, my following just continues to grow at such a quicker rate than any other platform.
Yeah,
so and I love interacting with different people. Like I like to have conversations with different people, and you can literally be on the timeline talking about finance, jobs, but then also sex and relationships, but then also food. Like you could literally be on the parenting, content creation, education. You literally can be talking about anything on there, and you just never know what is going to be
out.
Yep, and you never know who is going to be the main character of the day.
Because there's always a Twitter person of the day. Like something's happened on the East Coast, maybe, so we're getting it super early. But like some Twitter be
yeah, and I never want to be the main character on Twitter.
I never want to star on Twitter. I never want to be the star of Twitter. Like,
but I've learned.
We want the followers, like we want the interactions, but we don't ever want to be the person of the day, like
no,
because it never ends.
No, and it's never
They're
for
still
something.
Posting that picture of that boy sitting on the bed, on the edge of their bed. They're still posting that,
and it's never for anything good either. That's the thing. It's like. So yeah, I don't ever want to be the main character on Twitter, but I've learned a lot about a lot of random people because they were the main character for the day, and sometimes it's thread upon thread, and I be looking at the quote tweets. Yes, like Twitter and TikTok are tied, but Twitter is different because you can interact with people in real time, whereas TikTok, you might be seeing a TikTok from like 2 months ago.
So old. Why is that?
Girl, I don't know. So I don't put anything time sensitive on TikTok because somebody might not see it till it's too late. Oh, yes. So guys, let's get into it. Now, the marketing mommy, shout out to her. I always prefer to use people's tweets that I don't know, just because I don't know. I don't have to feel I don't ever bash people on here. Y'all know that. But it's always better when I don't know them. So she said, I used to really care about being posted until I started just cheating as well. So I don't know. I'm not one to ask. Now, the cheating part aside, the thing I really wanted to talk about was, and I partially think I know your stance on this, but then again, I might not because I don't know that we've ever actually talked about this. But in your relationship, which you're actually in a relationship, so my stance is more hypothetical because I'm not in a relationship, and nor was I in a relationship. Like I didn't get Facebook. I think I had MySpace before I divorced, but I didn't get Facebook until after I was divorced. So my entire main chunk of social media, I've been single. So mine is a hypothetical response. But how important is it to you for your man to post you on social media? I know your face.
It's not.
I kind of figured.
It's not. Because what is that? Who was that picture for? For all the fucking who was that for? Like, I never understood that. Like, if I post a picture like on Insta or something, first of all, I'll post pictures of our date night and not even have a picture of like my date. Like, and it's not that like I'm hiding him. It's just that that's my fucking Instagram. So just like I can't dictate what he wants to post. Like, he can't dictate what I'm gonna post. But like, I also don't hide the relationship. I mean, that would be the only reason, right? Is if you're like hiding a relationship, and so people have to post for validation. Like, I don't really know. I never subscribe to that. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, and if I post him, like, I post him, like, and really it was probably because I looked cute in the picture. Like, cause I mean, I don't know. I also date a guy that like ain't really into like pictures. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's not like, oh, let's take a picture. Like, it's a lot of niggas nowadays that are like, ooh, let's take a picture. I don't date a nigga that be like, ooh, let's take some pictures. Like, I have to be like, hey, like.
See, for me, the more that I see how social media is, the more that, just like we were talking about the main character, and I want my brand to grow. I want my company to grow. I want all these things to grow, but I want out there what I want out there. And I obviously put way more on the show than even I put on social media, because you guys, first of all, I get something from telling y'all my business on here because I get a download. So it's like mutually beneficial, and y'all know I'm big on that. But also, I get more control to a degree, because people are going to interpret it how they interpret it, and that's fine. Because I, like, when I live tweet y'all stuff, I always make it sound more, not dramatic, but just funnier even than maybe you intended it, because that's just my take on it. So I know that people are going to consume your content the way they want, but at least I can somewhat control the narrative. Whereas if you just put something out there, and I've been thinking about this even with my kids, you know what I'm saying? Like, people these miserable people, and people are just weird. And the fact that I've been single for so long, and also social media was not a part of my relationship at all, it gives me anxiety to even think about having that many people in my business, especially now that I've. Go ahead.
Sorry. No, I'll wait.
Are you sure?
Because I saw something on social media, and it's giving me like you also saw it, and that's so exciting.
Oh, well, maybe, who knows? But go ahead.
Okay,
I'm curious.
So there was a girl, because again, guys, remember, you don't want to be the fucking Twitter person of the day. So there was a girl that was Twitter person of the day recently, and she was talking shit about the rapper girlfriends or baby mamas, right? And I don't really like subscribe to like that being your like way to fame, but like, if that's how you're doing it, then girl, that's how you're doing it, right? And she was basically like downplaying like Jada, who was Lil Baby's baby mama, and Moon Pie Face that everybody think is so cute. I don't know, but anyway, so she was like downplaying them, and like that being their claim to fame. And then she pops up pregnant, first of all, by a rapper that, couple things. I still be forgetting that Travis Porter is more than one person. And also, I don't even recognize your rapper boyfriend. Like your rapper baby daddy, but you up here talking about these bitches that at least we recognize these niggas. Like, at least I know who her baby. Like, I didn't know that nigga was a nigga from Travis Porter. I didn't even know that nigga just wasn't named Travis Porter. I don't even know what he looked like for real. Like, so,
wait,
like,
Travis Porter is a group?
It's 3 people. We never watched the videos. We just was like, girl, no way. We would just dance to the fucking music and shit. Like,
oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So
the reason I felt like you saw that because you were saying I don't want that many people in my business. I was like, because she popped up with an unrecognizable.
So I didn't see that side of things, but I did see where someone was talking about. So I saw I guess maybe would have been the first part of her stuff where she was like going in on and who knows, it might not have been the same person, because people like to recycle what they saw and say it as if it was the first
time.
As
if they said it?
Yeah, and I can't stand that. In general, like, cite your source. And maybe it's the writer in me, because my college professor would never accept any type of research paper where I did not cite my source. So maybe it's that. But I don't like that. But no, just in general, I just can't even fathom that many people in my business, because people are going to have an opinion. And I don't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that part of my life has always been like private. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, the more that I think about it, maybe you don't even need to have social media, because obviously I have to have social media. Because
well, my boyfriend get kicked off of social media all the time, so it's almost like he doesn't have it. Like,
yeah, maybe you could be like a social media violator and like not have it, or don't be on Twitter. I don't know. And it's not even because I'm like trying to cheat, or it's not nothing like that at all. Trust me, if I actually find somebody that I like for real, and actually want to be in a relationship with, I don't have the capacity for anybody else. Like, how did you make it here, sir? Because niggas get on my nerves. So like, the fact that you were authentic enough and upfront about your intentions enough, because it's not like I have these unrealistic expectations. The biggest thing for me is the communication and boundaries and stuff like that. Like, that's what's most important to me. I feel like a lot of other things can be worked out, or like a season you're in now. Like right now for me, financially, things are super tight, but it's not always going to be like that. So like, stuff like that, there's ebbs and flows. But like, nigga, if you don't understand what to do in a healthy way when you're angry, you can't communicate. Like, that's the stuff that matters to me. However, when I'm in like networking on Twitter, mainly Twitter, or really anywhere, because everywhere on social media is networking to me at this point. That's a different world. Like, one of my daughters, I think my son follows me on Twitter too. So 2 of my kids follow me on Twitter, and I forget until one of them will like a tweet randomly out of nowhere, and I'm like, oh yeah, you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have 2 of my siblings on Twitter, and there are people that I know on Twitter that are like not from the podcast world, but at the same time, this is almost like work to me. Like, you know what I'm saying, to some degree. So it's like, I just want this to be separate, and I don't want whoever to be a part of it. And I've kind of got into putting the girls in some of my TikToks depending on what we're doing, but it just depends, just because people, people are ignorant, and I don't ever tag them in anything anymore. So yeah, I can't imagine trying to have a relationship. So nah, you ain't got to post me, because I don't want to post you. And not because I'm trying to hide my relationship, but
you're not trying to hide him from the world.
You know what I'm saying? But listen, Tommy we know his real name is Joseph Sikora, but my nigga Tommy.
About white power?
Yeah, stop it. Don't do him like that. Don't do him like that. Don't do Tommy like that. Like, no, stop it.
White ghost.
Stop it. No, I love his show. Like, yeah.
Oh, it's really good.
And I love that I'm actually kind of glad we had to wait for it, because one, what I realize about power is when you first start something, no one knows who you are, nobody knows how popular it's going to be,
Right.
And I'm noticing the more we get into this world, the acting and the actors and the caliber of actors that they're able to hire and draw towards the shows is just getting better and better, because they've really established their brand. Like, we just got to keep accepting new people into our power world. You know what I'm saying? So,
right, true shit.
Because we're going to watch everything. The most, like, the true Power fans. We're going to watch
really
every
are,
show.
Like,
we are excited.
I was playing Tariq, but then I went back and then I was literally every week on the next season. So like I understand and know my place in the Power universe. You feel me?
Exactly.
Like, so
and
I'm here.
We are also excited that we don't have to wait a year. Like, we have so many different shows. We're going to have 5 soon enough. And I understand the point of Tate's show, because I didn't back then. I was like, what? What's that nigga? Like,
because you see the progression. Like, and you see it's about to be some real grimy shit.
Yep. So like the reason I brought him up is he's married. And I have never, and I went looking because I wanted to see what his wife looked like. You can't find pictures of her anywhere. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think it's because he's cheating. Because whatever. That's separate. That has nothing to do with what he does as an actor and all that good stuff. I don't see her ever on anything on Instagram. It'll be just either other actors or him. You know what I'm saying? And like, and I'm so him, Lorenz Tate, that's another one that I don't ever see his wife anywhere. You know what I'm saying? And so it's kind of like, that's kind of how I don't be thinking you know what my nigga look like, because no, like, don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be thinking you know who he is. Don't be thinking nothing. Like, yeah.
And see, I don't care about any of that. Like, like, because like, it don't like.
Yeah. So that was a good one, though. Just wanted to talk about that. So now I can officially welcome Khris to the show, y'all. Thank you. Man, my studio audience is so awesome.
They are so awesome.
Like they're always like ready when I need them. They make everyone.
They got the stiff white people clap.
You know what I'm saying? With the same energy every time. Like, they never waver. They treat everybody the same. Like, yes, I love it. It's the consistency. You feel me? Yes. So guys, I mean, if you're a regular listener, Khris has been on here so many times for so many different reasons. But I specifically brought her here today for the Jack of All Trades series, because I even just learned today Khris is like for real, a jack of all trades in so many different ways. And just so you guys are all on the page of the definition that I subscribe to, because you hear a lot of different things when it comes to jack of all trades. But to me, it's someone who masters many different things. So it's not the whole master of none. It's you've mastered many different things, and then you can move on and build upon what you're already doing, or move on to something else that may or may not be an extension of what you're doing. And it may be at the same time as you're doing these other things. And it's always different. And I know there are a lot of people like that. And I knew this about Khris. Just the more our friendship gets deeper and I learn more and more about her. And so I definitely wanted to highlight her. So now is the time, because I'm pretty sure I told her months ago, like before the series started, like, I want to have you on. And here we are. It's always going to happen, guys. If ever I tell you, because there's other people I can think of.
That's one thing I know about you, so I don't trip. I just wait for the email to pop up.
It's always timing, because I like to, I'm trying to bring in, too, people who are not content creators. Like, this is the time to, like, highlight people that I know that are not content creators, or maybe just not podcasters that we all know, simply because there's a lot of different things that people I know are doing, and I think it's dope. You know what I'm saying? So Khris, good old Khris, she is the host of, like, why don't you tell them about, let's start with your shows. Let's start with that.
Okay, I mean, y'all be saying it like it'd be like 20. Like, it's just 2. Like,
It just
but like
seems like so
2.
much more than that.
they're just 2 great shows, is what it is. Like, so I am the solo host of Shenanigans with Friends. It is a mostly weekly show, where I just kind of, the best way to describe my show, and I always say this, is like, imagine you just like being kidnapped for a week, right? And then like you get home and you're safe and sound, and then I call you and I'm like, let me tell you what you missed this week. Mm-hmm. Like, that's basically how I could describe the show. And then all docked up, I am 1/3 of that. Shout out to Penrose and VJ, and you guys watch Tamara. Y'all already know your boy Penrose. Like, okay. So boom, that is a show where we're literally like siblings. Like, I really, like, we speak to each other that way. Like, we bicker at each other that way. Like, we are siblings, and we all like to watch documentaries. We're all in 3 different places, and it was just something that I just kind of spitballed them against the wall, and it like really stuck. We watch documentaries, we recap them for you. Well, I think well enough where you don't really need to watch it. But
I will co-sign that because I don't watch any of them and feel like I know exactly what happened in all. I am gonna watch the Tinder Swindler though, because
please, you need to see.
I need to understand.
You won't. You
okay.
won't.
Okay.
But I love our dynamic because, like, first of all, VJ is giving you fucking Barbara Walters. Like, she's got the fucking
girl. Yes.
She's got the precise details. And I'm like, I don't know that nigga name. She's like, oh, his name was like, so she's so like fucking integral, like, to the fucking pyramid. Like, and then you have like fucking you have fucking Penrose, where he literally has a story, or like, you know what that's like? Like, he has a lot of those. Like, so like he's like giving you, he's again, we're all still giving you facts, but like he's like relating it, right? Relating it
definitely
to, like,
makes it relatable. Yes.
And then I come in with like the fucking bizarre facts and shit that fucking happened in the story. And also I'm just like a buffer, like, for like I bring the shenanigans. Like, I'm the buffer when it's a really hard story to get through. Like, I try to like soften because they're like, we don't always talk about, like, Tinder Swindler is a fucking great documentary. We don't always talk about that shit. Like,
no, they talk about some heavy stuff.
Some shit. Like, so I like to consider myself the buffer, like, so that we can get through it and get the key points out there and make people aware of these super important stories, but then also, like, let's have some fun, right? Like, so.
And the dope thing is they go live. So I've tried to really get into, if somebody will record a show live, I'd rather watch it live so I could see the face expressions and interact and comment and all that good stuff. So they'll go live and they do the audio upload too, but you gotta watch it live because face expressions and all that good stuff, you can't see that if you're listening. And so definitely watch it live. They always announce, so all her information is always in the episode notes anyway, because of Podcast Happy Hour, which is, she's also 1/5 of Podcast Happy Hour. So
I am.
So she is a content creator. That's one of her trades. I'm not gonna say this is my favorite. Okay. But it kind of is my favorite because I feel like he makes me feel like I'm a mixologist too. So she is also a certified mixologist, which, like, being an adult and knowing people who do so many different careers is always fascinating to me, because just the fact that you're a mixologist and, like, that's just dope. You know what I'm saying? And like, she's certified, y'all. So she ain't just the family get together. Like,
I started out like that though. Like, that's always kind of been like how that's where it started out. But fun fact about me and my certification. So you get a written test, right? A final written test. And then you get a fucking 6 minutes. Well, I don't know. I think it's different in maybe different states, maybe. But in Nevada, you get 6 minutes to create 12 drinks that somebody is just spewing off to you.
Oh, wow.
So you have a list of maybe 50 to 75 drinks that you know might be told to you. And then you literally stand on the other side of the bar, and then the instructor sits on the other side, and he's like, make me a Brandy Alexander. Make me a fucking hurricane. Make me a fucking, like, whatever. And you have 6 minutes to create.
Did he call it slurricane? Did he say that?
Oh, he should have, though, right? Like,
he failed.
He was a white man, so anyway.
Say less. Oh god.
Okay, so and so like that's the certification. You have 6 minutes to do it. Complete the 12 drinks correctly, obviously. Make them, present them, like all that shit like that. And the whole time that we were in class, like you guys, if you guys know me, you guys see how I fucking wear my nails, right? He like the first day, he's like, I don't know if that's gonna work for you. I don't know if it's gonna work for you. And I was like, I've been trying to tell people I can't really do stuff without them. I keep my nails done like basically since I was like 18 years old. Like, I can't really do anything without them. I feel mad, like, I don't know. Anyway,
unbalanced.
So, yeah, like it doesn't feel right to me. So, okay, fine. So, and I was like, I got it, don't trip. I got it, I got it, don't trip. So the day comes, right? And we're trying to do this 6 minutes. He's like, I don't know, you sure? Because he used to just like always, we used to have that back and forth. Like, I got you, bro. Like, don't trip, I got you. So 6 minutes. He completed his when he did it. I don't even know how, but he did his in 4 minutes when he got certified back then. And so on brand with like who I am, I finished 12 drinks in 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Yep. And like literally I was done and I felt like I was going to throw up and I didn't want to look at him. And then when I looked at him, he was like, I was like, oh my God, I was literally about to like cry because I was like so nervous because it's like super, because to me, it doesn't like, 6 minutes doesn't sound like a lot of time, especially like when you're like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, when you said that, I was like, what?
Yeah, like 6 minutes does not seem like a lot of time, but like when you know what the fuck you're doing, like, and you know what a drink is or like how to present it, what glass it goes in, all that shit, like I guess it's really a long time. So I was so proud of myself, like, and so that's probably like my favorite. That, I mean, obviously, and then I was done, but like that was definitely like my favorite part of the whole journey, like that I like proved to him that like I can still be myself and do this shit, and then like be so close to like his record, like that was like super dope for me. Like I'm on like the Facebook of the school. But, like,
hold on. Oh, y'all are yes, that was definitely applause worthy. See, they're just so consistent. Now, do you have to recertify her at any point, or it's just a one and done, unless you want to add additional skills?
That's basically it. So, like, if you want, like, I could go and like train to be a sommelier. Like, so I'd learn way more about wines and stuff like that. I could do that. So, like, you can, like, add add-ons to it, but you really don't. But the good thing about my school is that, like, if, like, I get some free time next week, I could just go in there. And, like, I still have my book. I can bring my book. I can just step into whatever class it is. I don't have to repay my, you know what I'm saying? I don't have to retest. I would just be coming in and just refreshing myself. Like,
nice.
And then they also, like, after classes are over in the day, they have open bar where you could just literally just go back behind the bar and practice and get your bearings again. Like, so that was probably one of also my favorite things about my school. Like, yeah.
That's what's up. So I know you guys have heard me talk about KOD bartending. This is that's her business. And we'll kind of get more into that. But I just want to lay everything out that she's doing right now because
please stop.
But it's a lot, guys. It's a lot. Okay. So content creator, mixologist. I mean, she's also a mom, so she has 2 kids, one of which I'm his favorite. So I just think that's important for everyone to know everywhere that I am
everyone
somebody's
listening.
favorite. Right. Whatever chance I get. But then in addition to that, she has a degree, correct, in journalism. Okay. Just making sure I'm not out here, misquoting your life. And this is equally one of my favorite things about her because, as you guys know, I'm a writer. And so writers, we think differently, we move differently, we tend to be a lot more descriptive about even simple things. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'll take a simple emotion and explain it more in detail, whereas someone else may just say, "Oh, I'm sad," and we want you to like feel where we're coming from. That's generally how all writers are. And I think the more that I get to know Khris, I don't I don't normally do like, "Oh, I have a favorite," because I always feel bad about somebody being my favorite, even though I want to be people's favorite.
You literally just said that.
I know, and I know it's such a contradiction, and it's just who I am, and it's fine. But I will say that one of my favorite things about Khris, I guess, no, I'll say it. Like, Khris is my favorite simply because, like, even earlier, she's telling this serious story, and I'm like, but did he say you could call it slurricane? And she always just goes along with, and it's not like I'd be leading her to some bull. She really just goes along with my shenanigans. You know what I'm saying? Pun intended. But like, she really just kind of goes along with that, and like, that's important for me as a person because that's always going to be who I am. And like, when people question stuff like that where I'm not harming anybody, I like to make people laugh, and I thought it was funny, or I'm going to drag it out or whatever. When I am dragging things out too far, though, this is the other side of Khris. Like, when I'm being not too emotional, but like just dragging it out, she's like, "Okay, but really?" Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's in the time when, "Okay, Tam, like, you need to reel it back in. You're doing too much." But then she also understands, like, prime example, my celebrity crush, who, it doesn't matter who it is, because he's not getting any airtime on my show, bastard. But I had, because I'm over him now. I have to find a new one. And I don't know how I get these celebrity crushes. It's always something so random. But when I'm drawn to somebody, I'm just drawn to them. And
I mean, he's fine. Like, I get it.
It's
like,
that, but it's not just that, because it's a lot of fine niggas in the world that are not my celebrity crush. But then he got a girlfriend, and he be posting her. And why he couldn't be like the rest of these people that don't want to post their significant other? Like, you got
like
her all, you know what I'm saying? Like Tommy, I ain't never seen his wife. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So therefore, it just, and we used to watch this person's show. And so when I'm saying how I'm never going to watch it and F his show, and
she be being extra because she's definitely going to watch it. She was the original person that was watching it to make me watch it. Like, so she's definitely...
Jay was watching it first.
Oh, and we hopped on because she kept fucking telling us how it wasn't going to be a bad show.
Yeah.
And we both went in skeptical, and then Tam was in there.
I was all in, y'all. Like,
and so she's acting like she's not gonna watch that shit when it comes back, and she's clearly gonna watch that shit when it comes back.
But Khris never, this is the first time she's ever acknowledged that she knows that. She will go along and allow me to just be dramatic. That's what it is, dramatic. Because I need to be dramatic sometimes. Yeah, just, a little razzle dazzle. But yeah, and just the more that we keep having like time where we just talk more. And like within a group, I love the group. So I don't need y'all to hear this, and I'm talking about the rest of y'all, and think like I'm trying to shade the rest of the group. There's always gonna
No,
be
we all do that though.
Yeah, like we all have different relationships with everybody. But yeah, it's just I don't know. The more we talk and the more I see it kind of like how similar we are in certain things. Yeah, so there it is, guys. Khris is my favorite, and I'm not sorry.
I just heard this. This is the first time I'm hearing this.
I know.
Responds like
my kids know.
I love all of y'all. You guys I love all of y'all. Well, I feel like we all love each other for different reasons. Like, obviously, that's how we can stay as a fucking group. But like,
yep.
I do think that we are very similar.
Yeah. and but not like exactly alike either.
No,
so
exactly.
There's the balance, because Khris, I feel like, is more logical. Like sometimes I do, like when I'm being dramatic and saying I'm not about to watch a show because a man that I don't know, how dare he get a
woman that you don't know?
Why did he wait for the chance that he might meet me someday and fall in love?
Right.
Like, how dare he? You know what I'm trying to be happy, but
right.
So no, we're not just like. But it's funny because my daughters, they know that. And like I said, I'm usually not a favorites type of person because I always feel bad. But it's not like I love anybody any less. Just as you said, we all love each other differently for different reasons. We all talk every day as a group. And it's crazy because I haven't had a group friendship in a long time.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is the healthiest one that I've had, because I just feel like, and maybe it's because I'm older and I understand better what I need in relationships, or I don't even know, but it's just like I tell them stuff that there's people who have known me longer than them that don't even know about what's going on in my life.
Same.
Things that I'm going through right now, I could not fathom not saying, can we have an emergency meeting, just so I can go on and on and on about everything, and then feel better, and also not feel judged. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Sometimes when you go through things, people, they try to condemn you, and it's kind of like, I need comfort right now. Like, I don't need a lecture. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
Yeah. So journalism, that's another reason. Yeah. So let's talk about one of my most favorite things.
Okay.
All my favorite, because it's all just cool.
Okay. What are you talking about? The mixology part?
No, journalism. Now, you went to school and you got a degree in journalism. What was what is your aspirations with that?
Oh my God. Okay. So, like, I used to be, and I wish that they weren't so far down, because I would show you, I used to really, 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 really love Double XL magazine. Back when Elliot Wilson was the editor-in-chief.
I don't even know who that is, but the fact that you do means you are for real out here.
And so, I desperately, that was what I wanted. I wanted to be the fucking, editor of a fucking, magazine. And not necessarily, super, hip hop focused, because, I live in R&B land, you know what I'm saying? But just, a music magazine that wasn't, pull out posters and wasn't what's your favorite food? You know what I'm saying? Something in the middle, but also not so male dominated. Because I felt like there was times where I would read articles and I was like, well, that wasn't really necessary to ask Foxy. You know what I'm saying? Or things like that. So that's what I wanted. And so I left high school being that's what I'm gonna do. But like magazines, like so yeah, but like that's kind of where that started, just my love for like being able to open up a magazine and like read about us, or like have somebody eloquently like describe like how a song made them feel, or like how an album made them feel, or like a person that could like not like really interview somebody and not be superficial, like really ask the questions that like I wanted to ask that person if I ever got the opportunity to meet them. Like, so that's kind of where it started. And I moved out here. Sorry, I have a tickle. Sorry.
It's the season.
It is. Okay, so I moved out out west to Vegas when I was 16. And UNR has one of the best journalism schools in the country. So it just kind of worked out that way. And I was like, boom. Because there was a lot of me, like, I didn't want to move out here. Like not at 16. Like I had opportunities to like maybe like stay out there, because like most of my family is out in Chicago, like, so where I could like stay out there and finish high school and then make a decision from there. But I had this like super attachment to my great grandmother, and I just couldn't imagine like not being around her every day. So I went with my grandma's, and my mom and my sister followed after, and I ended up out here. But then it worked out because I got an opportunity to go to the Reynolds School of Journalism. So,
you know what's interesting too, which before I knew that she had a journalism degree, the way she does shenanigans with friends is, like she said, she's catching you up on the things that you missed out on. She finds news stories that, to me, it's rarely anything I've already heard of. Like, it's usually something that not only have I never heard of it, but I also can't believe that it exists in most cases. But the way she says it, even if she's literally just reading the article from the screen, which is insane, she says it in such a way that it's so entertaining and engaging that I never knew that's what she did. I thought like she practiced and like memorized all this stuff, because it doesn't sound like she's reading something. And so before we started, we were talking about how the journey prepares you. I think we weren't talking about that. I was talking about that elsewhere, so forget that.
Okay.
But with her journalism, even in her creative endeavors, you just see where when she was on here doing the U recaps with me, it made me step my game up to where then we do the Big Rich Town reviews, and I didn't really want to go back to just it was just super random, no structure. I felt like there needed to be more structure, because it's like that's how you tell the whole story for the people who haven't seen it, so that if they don't want to watch it but they still want to know what's going on, like when you guys do the Euphoria recaps, I don't watch that show, but I know enough to know that it's a lot going on in them teenagers' lives. So you know what I'm saying? But I see, though, where it makes sense that she has the journalism degree. I know that now, but like the way she does shenanigans with friends, it's really very from a journalism perspective, but the stories are just, Lord have mercy. They're always wild.
And it's funny because like I don't even like, I feel like I don't really put that much like into like picking the stories. I'm a person, because like I like to write, and I'm in, like I'm in that like bubble that like I'll get up in the morning and like I'll hop on Twitter or something, but really I'm going to like news, like my news apps, and I'm like reading stuff. And I'll just screenshot like, oh, that's weird, or that's crazy, like things that jump out to me. Like that's literally my process. And then I fucking finally read them like maybe like an hour before the show, just so they're like fresh in my mind. Like, and like that's how I do it. Like but for me, it's like I don't want to talk about what everybody else is talking about, because then what am I doing to like
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to get like lost in the shuffle. Cause like because you already listened to 5 podcasts that be talking about the same shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's important for me. So, but at the same time, I don't really put that much thought into it. It's just like, I'm just not like, unless it's like, you know, like I brushed over the Nelly sex tape, but I felt like I was bringing another aspect of the conversation that I don't think anybody else was like really bringing up. You know what I'm saying? So,
and that's the thing when you do that, is definitely have it from your own spin. But as I said, y'all, her stories are usually stuff I've never heard of, and that's what I like, because you can only listen to the same thing so many times before, like, I may skip your episode that week.
Exactly.
If I caught everybody else, or you know, so many podcasts with the same thing first, I may, even if maybe you were the first one to have your episode come out, but the way my rotation was, I didn't get to you first, I might skip it, just because it's kind of like, you don't want to just hear about the same things. And I'm obviously, y'all know my show is, I rarely talk about current events unless it's related to what's going on in my life or whatever, just because this is this is basically like my journal, but also for that very thing. I don't want people to feel like we're just doing the same old as everybody else, because even if I have my personality, that's great, because my personality is obviously different than anyone else's, but it's like, that's what I really appreciate about your show. Now, before we go deeper into the things that you are currently doing, one of the things Khris said before we started recording is that she basically is like, what do I want to do next? And that's why she has so many things that she's currently doing, will do, because there's so much more. She's even talked to me about things that she wants to do, but even stuff that she's done that I'm just like, what type of life have you lived? Like, what is happening? So she has, man, so she has a phlebotomy certification, and your girl was a travel agent. Like, what?
Yeah, like, I did. I didn't. So we were also talking before, like, my grandmother, right? She's my everything.
Goals,
she is goals, and she's always been goals, because like, I think
she paid for Columbia House Records. You know what I'm saying?
She really did.
She wasn't out here scheming and scamming to get this.
She was really paying that $21.99. Like I used to get to pick one every month, and I was like, oh, I can't believe you paying these niggas. Like, I got like 10 CDs for free. Anyway, so like, but yeah, so no, but she like really is, and she always has been. Because I think about like where my love for writing came from. It would be from her. She literally has a collection of stories, you guys, that like she would read to us instead of like storybooks from other people. Like,
that's so dope.
Her own stuff. Like she's even, because she worked for the city of Chicago, like she also had opportunities at the clinic, because she worked at a health clinic, like where like they would have like little things for like kids to get vaccinated and stuff like that, where she had opportunities to read and share those stories that, you know, she wrote and stuff for us, you know what I'm saying? Like, to share those with other kids. Like, she is like, guys, I love this lady to death. But like, so like, that's where my love for like writing came from, like, and like, in wanting to be in that world in some way, shape, or form. But then the travel agent thing, because my grandmother worked for the city of Chicago for like years and years and years and years. But in that time, she was able to start her own travel agency with her best friend that had a storefront.
Come on, entrepreneurship. Come on.
Like, okay, shout out to Anchors Away. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like, she had her own shit, and like, it was just something that I was like, that's so fucking dope. And I had an opportunity to get into that on like a not nearly as the level like of that, but like I worked for Travelscape, but I was a travel agent for like select people. Like, so I wasn't like, people weren't calling in like, you know, and being like, hey, I want to book a trip. Like, these are people that like they were sent up or referred up to us, and we just had those people. So these people would just be, I would get paid for like doing their trips, but like they only have 4 trips a year. But well, that's way more than like we have, like, right. But like also these are like trips, like, you know what I'm saying, like excursions and fucking dolphins and elephants and just insanity, like insane shit. Like, so I got a chance to like dabble in that because I had some understanding of like what people look for and like the things that I'm looking for when like trying to like put these things together for these people. You know what I'm saying? Just from like sitting and going on a Saturday before she took me to lunch, like, and having to go sit in the office, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever the case may be. But just good times, man. Like, she's just great. And like a lot of things that I do or that I've done, like I look back as I'm older now and I see like she inspired me to like even like think about it. You know what I'm saying? Like the phlebotomy thing, like just, and I didn't even realize like until we were talking, like that's something else that like I probably wouldn't have even done if she wasn't like, oh, that shit is mad easy and like you'll be able to do it. Like, so I was like, all right. So I did that shit. Like,
the thing about all jack of all trades is, and y'all see this with Khris, there's no limit to what you can do. It's like someone may try to just like your instructor for mixology. I don't know. And the thing about, and I know I'm this way too, is wanting to prove people wrong, because it's like, you can't tell me what I can do. If I set my mind to do this, I can do anything I set my mind to do. It takes me longer than I'd like. I may have to figure out maybe a different way to get there, but I'm going to achieve my goal. And that's the thing about, I can say, any jack of all trade. That's why they master so many things, because they don't allow themselves to be confined to this box of, I am this. And this is why I love highlighting the fact that Khris does so many different things, because I don't know that a lot of people hear about the journalism part, because I don't know that you would know that if you don't really talk to her. You're going to see KLD all over social media. You're going to hear one of us even promote it. Of course, you're going to see the podcast side of her, but it's just the many different things. And she's very creative, just as far as like when we put together our birthday boxes, and a box or anything that comes from Khris is going to be like good penmanship and like decorated, and she's just very
my grandmother.
crafty even in that sense. And you even see it like colorful clothes and stuff like that. Like, she's just has a outwardly expressive personality, and you see that in different ways. But at the same time, the journalism side, I think, brings like a seriousness that you could get caught up in the shenanigans, but actually pay attention to what she's actually saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, actually listen beyond even the words sometimes to the underlying message, because I even think it's dope that amidst all the shenanigans, you have the one up for the week. So like something positive and uplifting to encourage your listeners with, from either just you or from your guests. So it's kind of like she's a very, as we all are, multidimensional. But another way that I feel like we relate is people get caught up in one side of us and don't realize there are many different. And it's funny because we're not the same age. Like, I'm older than Khris. So I look at where you're at your age too. And I wish that I was where you were at when I was your age. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was in a different headspace. I feel like as I've gotten older, I've figured out certain things and whatever. But yeah, like, we are very, very similar in many different ways. But as y'all see, Khris is out here doing any and everything, and she has so much more that she's going to be doing. And so, I guess a question I have is, what does it look like to, or does this happen, I should say, where you kind of are able to, actually, it does happen. So, what does it look like to combine your creative side? Like, are you intentional about trying to incorporate that in every aspect of what you do, even work, or is it just something that sometimes you get to do it and you're glad when you get to do it? Like, combine the creative side of you with the work side of you.
In a lot of ways, that's like kind of almost a deal breaker at this point in my life. Like, I have to have the space to be able to like be creative in things that I do. So like when I'm making, like, you know, creating a drink or making like something different for us to drink, or that I'm selling to somebody, or whatever the case is, like I always have to put my spin on it. So like yeah, like, you know what a traditional mojito is, but like, here's, you know what I'm saying, here's something different for like the person that doesn't love mojitos, you know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. Like, so I have to have the room to do it. And I'm trying to move out of spaces that don't allow that for me. Like, because I'm more comfortable in that way. You know what I mean?
I love it. I love it. Yeah. So, if you could describe yourself as a creative, because it's obviously just it's who you are. Like everything that you've done. I don't know what that looks like with phlebotomy, so I don't know about that. But
yeah, you can't really get too creative with that. Like, you got to be real precise. Like,
yeah. So that aside, everything else you've done, there's something creative. So if you could describe yourself as a creative, how would you describe yourself? It doesn't have to be one word, but how would you describe yourself?
Well, I thought about this before we started recording, and honestly, like the first word that comes to mind is natural. Like, I think that like being, I don't know, and I don't like to like put a lot of like weight on like my zodiac or anything like that, but I just think that like I think because of me being a Gemini, I have the capacity to, like, you know what I'm saying, to always be in a creative space, if that makes sense, like as much as possible. But I don't know, like being in like a creative space, like we all work like hard to create content, but then there's like, and it's like not shade to anybody, right? But like there's some people that have to work a lot harder to put the content out. You know what I'm saying? And for me, it's more of like the only thing that really holds me back, like why you guys don't really know that I'm a writer, like. And I was just talking to you about how I'm gonna like give you some of my work to like read, like. But it's I have to. It's for me. It's more of getting out of a creative's like I'm sensitive about my work mode. You know what I'm saying? Like where I'm not. It's not really. I haven't put anything out because it's hard for me to create the content. Like I wake up, you know what I'm saying, like with these things on my brain, like. But it's more of me getting out of my own way, or stop shielding the things that I have to share with the world. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because and it could go back to being like in the past of being in spaces where I wasn't allowed to be as creative as I am now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to get out of that. But, and like I said, no shade to other people, but I just don't have to work as hard to put it out. Like,
and I think the thing too with that is I want to encourage you with this from a writer standpoint is that the more that you do it, even if you just, that's why I said I will definitely be a beta reader. You know what I'm saying? The more that you do it, and the more that like the joy that you get from it and the release, it's kind of like you'll care less and less about that. Because I mean, my mom says that I've always written, I've always journaled or had a diary, but I don't remember really heavily getting into writing, especially the poetry side of things, until I was like 26. That's when I started like performing spoken word. And I used to be a lot more timid as a poet than I am now. I used to be a lot more timid as even a blogger. I used to, because I felt like I didn't want to be misunderstood if I said, like, if y'all read my blogs lately or the poems that I'm going to say, well, it will have already passed. So go back to YouTube and look at the latest whatever. It's kind of like, I don't care anymore. I think for me, it's age. I think for me, it's, I've gone through things in life that has shown me like you can't really waste time being worried about certain things, because then at the end of the day, when you're going through it, none of them niggas that were judging you are there to do anything for you. So therefore, like, why should I care about your opinion? And that's why I'm not arrogant at all. I'm not even standoffish either. I'm a very friendly person, but at the same time, the politics of what we do, I can't stand. You know what I'm saying? And so, because I understand and can see the way people move in a political way, I'm friendly to everybody. And that's about it for some people. That, you know what I'm saying? Because it's just like whatever. But your opinion, like if I put anything on the internet, if I put anything in an episode, if I put anything in a blog, in a poem, and I put it out there, there's nothing that you can say anymore. I've arrived at this place to shame me, to whatever, because I tell my story so that it's told the way I want it to be told. What you do with it and how you consume it, that's on you. And so I'm excited that you're even considering just writing, even if it's just have us, because I know that once you get into that space, it's like you're going to hunger for it more. Like, I started a podcast because I have writer's block, but as you can see, I definitely was so happy when the writer's block was over, because that's my first love. You know what I'm saying? Like, podcasting is dope, but even if I stop podcasting, I will still write because I have to. Like, that's just who I am, you know? So yeah, love it, love it, love it, love it.
Yeah, girl, I have stuff stashed everywhere, girl. I like old school like composition books, like some stuff that I've like kind of like transferred from computer to computer. Like I have a lot of stuff. I don't know. I never after the like realization that like the magazine thing was kind of like not gonna be a thing just because of the way media was moving. Like I kind of just couldn't figure out where like I want it to be now, like in that like writing space, and that's kind of what it is. So,
and we know you will, and we all, I'm speaking for everybody, like I'm excited to, I don't know, I'm such a fan of writers. I don't even know why. Maybe because I am one and I understand like writing is such an interesting, it's a different process for everybody. But then once you get to the finished product and just the discipline it takes, and it's crazy. So like when you read books, do you like get so lost, if it's a good book, so lost in them that like you forget that it's not real, and you have like you can envision whatever based on like what you're reading?
Yeah, like I know, I don't know, kind of, because like at the end of books sometimes, like I'll find myself like thinking about like what's like now what, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, like because sometimes for me, good books don't necessarily like wrap everything up in a nice, pretty bow, and I'll sometimes like find myself getting like stuck in like trying to like figure out like, well, what else would happen? And you know that's funny because like that makes me think about, remember that time when the internet was brand new and stuff, and all the kids were like doing like fan fiction and shit, like those little like fan fiction stories. I think people still do those now, but like I was definitely people too, and that just comes from like me reading stuff or like seeing something and not being able to let it go, and so because I wanted more of the story that they weren't giving me. Like,
yeah, that's the I like reading. I'm trying to get back into pleasure reading because I
have you tried
really enjoy.
audiobooks?
I think I need to try that because I find I don't have the attention span to sit, even though I love reading, but I could listen, and I'm not a TV that's not true. It just depends. But yeah, I guess I'll try to get into that because
Audiobooks, for sure. Because it's like you don't like you're still hearing. You know what I'm saying? Like it's I don't know. I like it because like I feel like we're able to multitask better. Because like you said, you have to read a book. You have to sit and read a book, right? But like we can still like be doing everything that we need to do. And sometimes I'll have to pause and be like, you know what I'm saying? Like just to sit back and be like, hold on, let me get through this chapter and I'm gonna get back. Like, but at least like I just audiobooks are so fucking great because you can just multitask, and my brain is always multitasking, so I love that.
I did a friend told me that he either read somewhere that for people that have been through trauma, that listening to like a podcast, even, which we do that of course, but like listening to audiobooks or listening to podcasts, something about that helps to heal the brain from the trauma that you've endured. And I thought it was interesting when he told me that because he said it, I may have been 1 year into podcasting at that point. And when I became a podcaster, that's when I became an avid listener of podcasts. Like I didn't really know that there were podcasts really outside. I guess I didn't know what to look for, I should say. But I would listen to mainly sermons if I listened to a podcast. But I wasn't out here like thinking there was this whole world that there is out here. And what I noticed is I like it backed up what he said because I see that I'm different and I move different and I think different and I respond to things differently. Now, granted, I'm also processing my stuff, but I definitely I don't know why I never thought of audiobooks, but I guess I literally just started thinking like, man, I need to get into reading because my quiet time in the morning before I'm trying to get away from hopping on my phone as soon as I get up. I'm trying to get away from that. It's hard though because it's my alarm clock. So then once I pick it up, it's like
it's in my hands, right?
Yeah. So whenever we move, I'm gonna have to use my actual alarm clock and have my phone somewhere else and like start my day differently because it's like audiobooks, even podcasts, reading, journaling, that quiet time, even if it's I'm listening to something, but it's really just I'm by myself and whatever is just it's so good for me. And it really just helps me deal with the rest of the day better than the days where I have to jump up and start doing stuff. I feel like that just throws my day all off every time.
Yeah.
Speaking of balance, because that's what's important based on what I just said, with all that you're doing, because you're doing a lot in addition to making sure that you are being there for your kids and also your boyfriend, like you really prioritize even family, you know what I'm saying? How do you balance all of that? How do you make sure that you're good so that you can be good for everybody else, basically?
This isn't even something that I've like have super mastered yet. But I think in the last like 2 or 3 years, I've definitely gotten a really good grasp on it just because there was a point where I wasn't okay. Like, and it was like, and for me, like, it's like I'm okay with like not being okay. Like I'll figure that out. But like when I see it start to spill, like that's when I gotta like figure it out. So like you said, like I'm a mom, like we all know how that is. Like we stay juggling shit. So my goal, it's just like the goal is like prioritizing and just having a concise understanding of that thing's place in your life. And the first thing is you, right? Like, cause you can't pour into people, you can't pour into situations if you're empty, like if you're not pouring into yourself. So, my creative outlets keep me happy and keep me sane. So they are necessary. They do not come first, but they are necessary. If I have to block out an hour of my day where I'm sitting here and doing this, like, then this is what I'm doing. But then there's sometimes like where you have to sit, like juggling, right? So like sometimes you have to sit a ball down. Sometimes you got to like stop spinning a plate, you know what I'm saying? Until you get the rhythm back. But that doesn't necessarily mean like that you're that it's not important in your life. It's just, you know, you gotta, I don't know. The goal is just trying to just fucking never stop trying to balance it all. Like that's really all. But just prioritizing and just like really understanding like that thing's place in your life and like what it means to have that thing in your life, or this person or this relationship or this thing that we do every Friday at 7 o'clock, like Dance Central, like, you know what I'm saying? Like whatever it is, like just, I don't know. That's the best answer I got for it.
I love the part about it, the prioritizing its place in your life. I love that. But also the part you said about sometimes you have to put it down, but it doesn't mean it's forever. That's like he's super summarizing it, but because I think sometimes people think that if they have to pause from something, then that means it's over. But no, sometimes you just need to take a break, and like that's okay. Or sometimes there's a season where you can't do it for whatever reason, and it doesn't mean that you'll never come back to it, even though it may feel like you'll never come back to it, because the days are long, but when you look back, it went by so fast, and it's like, how did we arrive here? You know what I'm saying? Like, how was it already about to be March and 2022 just started? Like, but yet the days feel like they're 10 years long when we're in it. You know what I'm saying? So I love those two things, because when people say they don't have time, we all, and I don't say this flippantly, don't get me wrong, because I hate when people are like, we all have the same 24 hours
in a day.
You should be getting up at 4 a.m. And no, girl, sometimes I'm not even asleep yet. Let's keep it real.
True story. Like,
but we do prioritize. Like, if we prioritize things as important, we are going to make time for it. So either it's important or it's not. And like, there's not really, in my opinion, an in between in that. Now, yeah, of course, there are some extreme circumstances, sure. But for the most part, people make time for what is most important to them. Now, sometimes work may be most important because it's telling you it's most important, not because, you know, but either way,
you believe that.
Yeah. But either way, you having that money is most important. So it's still you prioritizing your time according to what's most important. And if you do that, you can achieve whatever you want. You just have to decide what you want to achieve. And yeah, I love that. And I guess before we get up out of here, is there one piece of advice that you would want to give to my listeners?
Okay, so I thought about this. Okay, so if you guys listen to my show, I try to like simplify things like as much as possible. So basically, like if you're gonna do it, whatever it is, just do it with purpose. Do it for you, right? And I say this because I see it all the time. Do it for you, and not because it looks like the wave, right? It doesn't because it looks like the thing to do, right? And then also don't measure your worth with. Okay.
They told me they was coming. I didn't want you to. Yeah.
All right. So also like on that same wavelength, right? don't measure your worth with somebody else's measuring cup, because that is not your recipe, okay? Like, our experiences and our paths are unique and specific to us. And I feel like a lot of times we forget that because social media. So I just want to remind you guys that. And that's probably my best advice for me and for you and for everybody else out there.
I have nothing that I feel like I could even remotely add to that. Like, I love all of that. I gotta figure a sound that says that's a bar or something. I gotta make that happen. I'll make it happen, y'all. Y'all know I'm a figure out a way. But I love the part about everybody's journey is different, because so I'm not gonna say anything different, but I guess I'll piggyback off that.
Yeah.
Because it's something that's been bothering me, especially in the consulting field, where I keep seeing randomly on Facebook these ads, and it's probably because the work that I do, so they advertise based on, what they think you're interested in. But I keep seeing these coaches that are like, everyone tells you this, but this is the right way to do it. That worked for you, and it may work for others, but for you can't minimize the other person's experience, because they're also successful and saying this is the right way to do it and everyone else is wrong. And I struggle with that, because I think when you market your product in that way, or when people get caught up in that, they're forgetting the whole part about your journey is yours. I personally would not advise that anybody necessarily leave a job to pursue your company when you don't already have savings or whatever. I would not recommend this path to anybody unless you want to cry a lot, unless you want to be stressed. The 12 pounds that I've lost, because I have lost 12 pounds since October or whatever, could possibly be stress induced. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? Probably not though. But like, I wouldn't recommend this to anybody, but I also wouldn't discourage anybody from it, because it may be their journey. I think that you can have a goal in mind, like, hey, I want to be owning my own business. I want to be whatever. But to say you want to be doing exactly what someone's doing, you don't know what the hell they went through to get there. You know what I'm saying? And all you see most of the time is the highlights on social media. You rarely see where people are honest about whatever is really going on behind the scenes, because we all have something. Like, I don't care who you are, everybody has a trial that they're going through, because that's just how life is. Some people just have more money than others, so they can make it look different, but it doesn't mean that they don't have their own issues. That's why you will see rich and famous people commit suicide. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all have struggles. But when you get caught up in somebody else's journey, you miss everything that you were supposed to be learning and gaining for your journey, because you may see this mountain that you're heading towards, but you don't know if when you get closer to it, there's not going to be a path that leads you around it where you don't have to go over it, or there might be a staircase, or the mountain may look like it's together, but really, if you get closer, it's like
crumbly. It's crumbly as fuck.
Or there's a pathway through it where you could literally just walk right through it, because it's like a cavern or something. Like you just don't know what it's gonna be. So you have to really, yes, it's good to get advice, it's good to have mentorship and all that stuff, but with all things, take it with a grain of salt, because people are the experts of their own journey. You know what I'm saying? And this is why, like, when I give anybody any information, I'm always like, there's this or this and this and this, and you got to figure out what's best for you. Like, I had somebody DM me on the Melanin Toxicate IG, and I get so many, do you want a paid promotion, blah, 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 right? And then what they said is, quick tip, don't put the hashtags in your caption, put the hashtags in the comments because it looks more professional, but you also get the benefit of the hashtags. Now, the thing that this person who gave this unsolicited advice doesn't understand is,
you hate
one,
unsolicited advice.
I really hate it. I promise I hate it. But what they fail to realize is that's not realistic for me because I schedule all my posts. So
Right.
I'm not posting anything in real time unless
Right.
it's from my personal page. And even some of that is scheduled. Actually, the only thing that's real time is workouts and random pictures. Everything else is pretty much scheduled related to podcasting, company, Melon Intoxicate. But any other random stuff that doesn't fit into that, it's
Right.
it's real time. So there's that. There's two, I follow lots of different social media influencers. I follow lots of different consultants. I follow lots of different people that are in the industry that I'm in so that I can glean from the free game that they put out there. Some don't use hashtags at all. Some use them. Some put them in the, like, you can't tell me this is the only way to do
Way
it
to do
because
it.
there are successful people that put hashtags in the caption. So
Right.
you have to get away from thinking your way is the only way to do
Of
it.
doing
I struggle
something.
with that in anything because there is no cookie cutter approach to anything, to working out, to, there's so many different ways you can get your nails done. There's acrylic, there's
Right.
gel X, there's
Right.
dip, there's shellac, there's no one way to do anything. And
Right.
I hate that. So yes, guys, your journey is your own, and understand that the journey prepares you for where you're going. So, celebrate it, celebrate how far you've come, all that good stuff. And that's all we got for you guys. So make sure that you are taking care of yourself mentally, emotionally. Man, Chris's stuff is in the episode notes. I don't even make her really say all her
Say
stuff
it.
anymore because she's been on here especially with the U series. She was literally on here for 2.5 months straight. But also her stuff is always in the episode notes every week, whether y'all ask for it or not, because of Podcast Happy Hour. Because like, if you don't follow her, how are you gonna catch Podcast Happy Hour when it's on her platform? Like, how are y'all gonna know what we're doing if you don't follow all of us? Because it's only on my platform like once every 5 months.
Same.
And maybe longer if we actually missed one
juggle
month. Yeah, or we flip things around and none of us are really like, oh my gosh, I have to have it this way or whatever. So like, you have to follow all of us, you know what I'm saying? We are a package deal when it comes to that. And pretty much most people do, because they know maybe you or like know one of us and then follow the rest of us. But for the rest of y'all slackers, her stuff is in the episode notes. And yeah, guys, make sure you take care of yourself mentally, emotionally, physically. I mean, it's gonna be summer soon, and they say summer bodies are made in the winter. Y'all gonna get whatever summer body I have by the summer. But I am working towards, because I think I want to do a photo shoot for my 42nd birthday. Like, I don't know what that looks like, but I think it should be a thing. I'm really trying to, y'all, like, get back to me. You know what I'm saying? I realize how I lost myself somewhere along the way, and there's parts of me, sides of me that people don't even know exist because I kind of forgot about it. So, yeah, make sure you take care of yourself spiritually, be healthy in your relationships, because guys, listen, 2022, I don't know how the years can just continue to get worse and worse and worse, but somehow here we are, just y'all keep threatening the year before it starts, and then she keeps saying y'all gonna F around and find out, and y'all F around and find out. Like, stop threatening her. Just let her come in, and
just let her be.
You know, and maybe it wouldn't be all this, but don't nobody ever listen to me because they want to prove shit. Look at you. Look at you. What you proving? You ain't proving nothing. So, guys, make sure you be healthy in your relationships. People are going through a lot. Like, no matter what you see on social media, people are going through a lot. Social media is a place to escape the bull for most people. Most people that are laughing, joking. Man, I have the best comedy when I may low key, not like be suicidal, like for real, but like low key be like the most stressed ever outside of, you know what I'm saying? Because that's my way of escape is laughing.
Same.
Be kind to people. But thank you so much for tuning in, y'all. Khris, thank you so much. I'm glad we got this episode. It's even better than I imagined because I learned new things about her today. I know she could have really planned the whole because she was a travel agent. Like, what? So, yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in. You will hear from me next week. Bye.
Ladies and gents, this concludes transmission. Tune in next time for a whole new edition. Another adventure and mission to share, be heard, and clarify the vision of this whole new world for Tamara.